Be honest. How many self-help books have you read, felt like an absolute superhero for about 48 hours, and then changed absolutely nothing about your life? We do this over and over. We set the 5 a.m. alarm, swear this time is different, and then smash snooze like it owes us money. We buy expensive running shoes, feel athletic for 10 minutes, and then let them fossilize in the box. We fill out a gorgeous planner, color-coded, aesthetic, optimized, and a week later, we're on the couch eating junk food while Netflix asks if we're still watching. We love the idea of change, but the actual mechanics of it, we are terrible at them. I read Atomic Habits by James Clear. It sold millions of copies. It's sitting on the bedside table of every tech bro and aspiring entrepreneur on the planet. But here's the dirty little secret no one tells you. Most people who read this book miss the entire point. They think it's about discipline. They think it's about forcing yourself to do things you hate until you magically start liking them. I thought that too. I tried it. I failed hard. I spent 2 years stuck in the same loop. Set massive goals, burn out, hate myself, repeat. Goal, burnout, self-hate, goal. Then I reread the book, and I ignored most of the fluff, the graphs, the clever stories. I kept the parts that actually change human behavior. 3 levers. That's it. I read the book so you don't have to. Here's the stripped-down truth of what actually works. Step 1 sounds wrong on purpose. Stop trying to change your habits. Here's what I mean. The biggest mistake I made, and you're probably making right now, is focusing on what you want to achieve. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to read a book a week. I want to write a script. James Clear calls these outcome-based habits. They feel motivating, but they're fragile because they run on willpower. And your willpower is a battery that dies by about 2 p.m. every single day. When that battery is gone, the habit collapses. And you don't think, my system was bad. You think, I'm bad. That's the real self-help lie. That if you understand the idea, you'll magically become the kind of person who does it. The book's real insight is simpler and way more uncomfortable. People don't act consistently with their goals. They act consistently with who they believe they are. Think of it like a target. On the outside are outcomes. Lose weight, make money, finish the project. In the middle are processes. Go to the gym, write 500 words, show up daily. But at the center, the part that actually drives everything is identity, your beliefs about who you are. If you believe deep down, I'm not a gym person, every workout feels like borrowed clothing. If you believe I'm not a writer, the blank page feels hostile. The habit isn't failing because you're lazy. It's failing because it doesn't match your identity. Identity-based habits flip the starting point. You don't ask, what do I want to achieve? You ask, who do I want to become? And then you prove it in tiny ways.
True behavior change is identity change. You don't want to read a book, you want to become a reader. You don't want to run a marathon, you want to become a runner. Here's why that matters. Every time you perform an action, you are casting a vote for the type of person you want to become. Not a declaration, not a promise, a vote. One vote doesn't decide an election, but over time, the pattern becomes obvious. When I finally understood this, everything shifted. I stopped trying to write a 10-page essay every day. Instead, I opened my laptop and wrote 1 sentence. That was it. Was it a good sentence? Usually no. But in that moment, I cast a vote that said, I am a writer. The same thing shows up everywhere. You tie your running shoes and step outside, even if you walk back in 30 seconds later. Vote. You put 1 dish into the dishwasher instead of leaving it in the sink. Vote. You type 1 sentence on an empty page. Vote. These actions feel almost too small to matter. That's the trap. Small actions feel invisible when you judge them by results. They become powerful when you judge them by identity. So here's the implementation directive. Stop setting goals. Decide the type of person you want to be and prove it to yourself with 1 tiny, pathetic, almost embarrassingly small win every single day. Not because small is impressive, because small is repeatable, and repeatable is what changes who you think you are. Step 2, you aren't lazy. Your room is just stupid. If there's 1 chapter in the entire book you should actually care about, it's environment design. We carry this toxic belief that if we were just stronger, we could resist the doom scroll. If we were just better, we wouldn't eat the junk food. Listen very carefully. Willpower is a myth for amateurs. The most disciplined people in the world don't have more willpower than you. They just face fewer temptations. Same human, different surroundings, completely different outcome. This is called friction engineering. You want to make good habits the path of least resistance and bad habits physically annoying to do. Easy things get done, annoying things get avoided. This isn't a mindset trick. It's basic physics applied to behavior. Look at reading. Same person, same book. In one room, the phone is right next to them. Notifications buzz, the screen lights up, the book goes down. Scrolling wins. In the other room, the phone is gone. Another room, drawer closed. The person reads. They turn a page. Nothing heroic happened. The environment did the work. Once you see this, you start designing instead of negotiating with yourself. I put a water bottle right next to my laptop, so drinking water requires zero thought. I leave my guitar out of its case because if it's in the closet, I will never play it. My phone charges in a different room now, not because I'm disciplined, because I'm not, and I know it. In the kitchen, I replace the chips with fruit, not as a moral stand, as a convenience upgrade. I eat whatever's closest, so I changed what closest means. That's the whole system. Cast small votes for the identity you want, then engineer your space so those votes are easy to cast and hard to avoid. If you've been feeling stuck, this is the relief. You don't need more motivation. You don't need to fix yourself. You need fewer obstacles in front of the right actions and more obstacles in front of the wrong ones. Design beats discipline every time. Want to read more? Put the book on your pillow so you physically have to touch it before you go to sleep. You don't make a decision, you bump into it. And once it's in your hands, reading just happens. Want to stop scrolling in the morning? Buy a $10 alarm clock and charge your phone in the kitchen. When you wake up, there's nothing to grab, nothing to check. The room is quiet. Calm becomes the default. Want to go to the gym? Sleep in your gym clothes. Seriously, I did it for a month. You feel ridiculous. You look ridiculous. But when the alarm goes off, you're already dressed. At that point, not going feels harder than going. Friction, zero. Here's the point. Don't try to change your brain. Change your room. Your brain will automatically adapt to the environment it's placed in. Design an environment where the right thing is the easiest option. Okay, so you've changed your identity. You've designed your environment. Now comes execution. And this is where everyone quits, usually around day 14. James Clear calls this the valley of disappointment. You've been going to the gym for 3 weeks. You look in the mirror, you look exactly the same. No visible payoff. You feel cheated, and the thought creeps in, why am I doing this? This is what you expect progress to look like. Time on the bottom, results on the side. A straight line going up and to the right. Effort in, results out. But this is what actually happens. The line dips, it stays flat. It looks like nothing is working. Then much later, it curves up sharply. The results were coming the whole time. They were just invisible. And the gap between what you expect and what you experience, that red zone, that's the valley of disappointment. That's where everyone gives up. So how do you survive that valley? Here is the ultimate hack, the 2-minute rule. A new habit should not feel like a challenge. It should take less than 2 minutes to do. Not because 2 minutes changes your life, but because 2 minutes keeps you showing up. Read 1 page. Open the book, read a single page. Close it, done. Do 1 push-up. Get on the floor, do exactly 1, stand back up. That counts. Meditate for 60 seconds. Sit down, close your eyes, 1 minute, open them. Finished. These actions are almost comically small. That's deliberate. The goal isn't improvement. The goal is survival. You are not trying to win the day. You are trying to stay in the game. Every time you do one of these, you cast a vote for the kind of person you want to be. Reader, trainer, someone who shows up. And those votes add up, even when the results don't show yet. Here's the quiet truth most people miss. The power isn't in the habit itself. The power is in not quitting during the part where it feels pointless. 2 minutes is how you lower the bar enough to step over it, even on bad days. You don't need more motivation. You don't need a better plan. You need an environment that nudges you forward and a habit so small it's almost impossible to refuse. That's it. 1 page, 1 push-up, 60 seconds. Start there. What you need to thinking, what is the point of doing 1 push-up? That is not going to get you jacked. You're right, but it establishes the habit of showing up. You have to standardize before you can optimize. You cannot improve a habit that does not exist. If you master the art of showing up, even for 2 minutes, you become the type of person who doesn't miss days. And those days stack, quietly, 1 mark at a time, until the evidence is impossible to ignore. Atomic Habits isn't a book about becoming a productivity robot. It's a book about compound interest.
If you get 1% better every day for a year, you don't end up a little better. You mathematically become 37 times better by the time you're done. Early on, the line looks flat. It feels like nothing is happening. That's the part most people quit. But the curve doesn't stay flat forever. It bends, then it climbs. And suddenly, all those small days explain everything that came after. The truth is, success isn't a massive Hollywood montage. It's quiet. It's boring. It's putting your phone in the other room. It's reading one page. It's casting a tiny vote every single day for the person you know you are capable of becoming. Because every habit is a vote. One vote doesn't decide an election, but elections are nothing but votes, repeated. And identity works the same way. You don't wake up one day as a new person. You arrive there by accumulation. This is where most stories would try to hype you up. This one doesn't, because the point isn't motivation, it's recognition. You've already seen how this works. You've lived the messy desk, the late nights, the snoozed alarms. You've also seen what happens when the environment changes, when the friction drops, when showing up becomes normal instead of heroic. No narration here, just proof, before and after. Same person, same room, different system. The small wins doing the quiet work they were always doing. And then we return to the beginning. Same desk, same angle, but now it's clean. The book that was tossed aside at the start gets picked up. Not with reverence, not like a sacred object, just with understanding. It gets placed on the corner of the desk. Not a centerpiece, not a shrine. A tool in its place. You don't need to read the 300 pages. You just need to look at your life right now and ask yourself a simple question. What is the smallest possible vote I can cast today? Do that, and then do it again tomorrow. If this video shifted your perspective, hit subscribe. Let me know in the comments what your 1 2-minute habit is going to be. See you in the next one. Cast your vote.